Begin tonight with new details about an exclusive investigation we first broke earlier this month. Governor Kevin Stitt's secret plan to raise private dollars to build a new governor's mansion.
KFOR has worked diligently to confirm the details of the secret plan, and quite frankly, it was difficult to obtain much of this information.
You'll remember those close to the project were asked to sign confidentiality agreements or flat out told to keep quiet about the project. Getting sources to reveal critical information took time.
But our team has verified a factual account of what's been quietly occurring for years away from public view.
And after our first report aired, we began to hear from key players who've been in on this planning since the beginning.
Tonight, a follow-up report from News 4's Allie Meyer.
Swear.
I, J. Kevin Stitt, do solemnly swear.
Weeks after Governor Stitt took office, he was meeting with an architect, planning to raise private dollars to build a $6 million home on the grounds of the historic governor's mansion.
When I first came into office, I had some business people said, hey, this is in the plans. We would like to do this at some point. We could raise the money privately for it. And at some point when you're leaving office, this is an idea for you to leave to the next governor.
Those business people? Fundraiser Bob Ross and public relations executive Renzai Stone. Ross and Stone say they are proud of their volunteer work, fundraising to ensure Oklahoma First families have a beautiful residence.
The public really needs to know where the money's coming from, because there's always that question of why would someone give this much money for this thing that's tied to this government official and not expect anything.
In August of 2019, the governor's office was telling the public they plan to renovate the historic mansion. However, according to the project timeline, the plans for a new mansion were already complete. Construction scheduled to start in early 2020, ready for the first family to move in March of 2021.
Anytime there's a lot of private money going toward a public project, I always want to know who's it convenient for, who's it inconvenient for, who profits, who doesn't profit.
When we got here to
The governor and his communication team have claimed the new mansion project was not a secret. But as we have reported, board members for Friends of the Mansion were asked to sign this non-disclosure agreement. Last year, the president of the board reminded the board to keep everything pertaining to the project confidential. First Lady Sarah Stitt is the chair and chief fundraiser. We called her chief of staff 1 week before our story first aired.
This is Lauren.
Hi, Lauren. It's Allie Meyer calling from Channel 4. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, thanks. I was looking for the chief of staff for First Lady Sarah Stitt. Have I reached the right person?
Yeah, that's me.
The First Lady's chief of staff was the executive director of Friends of the Mansion in 2019. Board minutes confirm she attended many meetings where the board discussed a new mansion. In July of 2020, the board addressed concerns about accepting funds, and she was there. In May of last year, the board reported $1.4 million in restricted funds for the new mansion. She was there. In August of 2021, when the fund had grown to $1.6 million, she was there in the room.
What I'm asking specifically about is a plan to build a new mansion, not renovate the old one.
No, there's not a plan to build a new governor's mansion.
The governor's press team says that was not a lie. They emphasize the difference between the terms governor's mansion and private residence. They say there is no plan to build a new governor's mansion. There is a plan to construct a private residence.
I'm honored to serve on Friends of the Mansion. We take very seriously our responsibility. It's not just to the first families. It's to state-owned property that should be protected and preserved and maintained for the citizens of Oklahoma.
James Pickle has served 4 governors, Republicans and a Democrat. He is president of the nonprofit board Friends of the Mansion.
Our involvement so far has been to take the private donations that are being raised and put them in a restricted bank account to where they cannot be touched for anything but a new First Family residence.
The board has never voted on the plan to build a new mansion or a new residence. They have no input on the scope. Friends of the Mansion has spent $0 so far and cannot answer this question. Why was the new mansion kept a secret?
I don't have an answer to that. We have not been asked. I don't know if it was the intention to just raise it from a smaller group of people, large amounts, fewer people. I don't know if there is a plan to go more public in the future. I really don't know.
We have asked for the list of donors. Wealthy Oklahomans contributing up to $150,000 per person, up to $250,000 per foundation. So far, that list remains confidential.
I would say there has to be a respect for meaningful transparency.
Senator Julia Kurt is leading an interim study on transparency in government. Last session, she authored a bill to address oversight on the grounds of the Capitol complex and the mansion. Her measure did not survive.
There's an amount of transparency that has to happen there. There's plans that are made public. You don't just say because a donor wants to do it, we're going to do it. It is not that donor's decision what we do with our public property.
News of a new mansion was a shock to many Oklahomans and many lawmakers. Some Republicans in leadership report hearing rumblings about a new mansion years ago, but since the legislature approved millions in renovations to the historic mansion, they believe the new mansion plan was dead.
That needs to be a public conversation because the public should weigh in on our history and kind of what we have on our Capitol grounds. That's absolutely the public's business, you know?
We called 17 Republicans in the House and in the Senate. We only heard back from one who agreed to an interview. He canceled the next day. Allie Meyer, Oklahoma's News 4.
And just today, we got word from Friends of the Mansion. They have now decided the donor list will be made public once the fundraising concludes.
If you would like to read more from Friends of the Mansion, Rinzai Stone, or Bob Ross, we've included their full statements and some additional information regarding our reporting. Just go to KFOR.com.